Once again, you have the dove over his head, but you also have very obvious UFO-styled clouds in the background with the same exact type of shapes. So this is clearly, again, indicative of that UFO phenomenon that we seem to keep seeing, the baptism of Christ. So some people knew about these flying saucers. They were drawing them in multiple illustrations. There's way too many of these to be coincidence. So for me, I feel like I'm being a big help in the disclosure process, a proponent of full disclosure, getting this information out there, getting you to see it. It's beautiful. And this is stuff that just blows my mind. So then we have another Hindu Vimana painting, date and author unknown. But there again, clearly the Vimana looks like it's a little bit stylized, but yeah, very much similar to modern depictions of UFOs. And here's another one that I found, the Pushpaka Vimana, right there. So there you have it. Some very, very fascinating images that we've had. And now I want to give you some stuff to think about regarding everything that we just saw. So we're going to go down here. We'll do the photographs next week because that's, again, a whole new discussion that we can get into. And it's very cool. So again, everything that we've seen is really, to me, indicative that no, despite the fact that people are saying, oh, you know, UFOs have killed people and soldiers have died and all this kind of stuff. No, it's not all bad. It's not all doom and gloom. There's some really good things going on. B. Boyingen donated $50. Thank you very much for that. It's right here. And we have two more. We have Jabo Philippe, $5, and Miles Servin donated $100. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Boyingen says, from all the paid courses and your TV shows, I've been there. I don't live much, but I always watch. You helped us build our spiritual foundations. It feels like a treasure that I recorded your show. Cheers, David. We love you. Jabo Philippe wants a Tranma impersonation. I think I'm way too tired to do that right now. About her time as a mafioso before taking witness protection a bit too far. Maybe next week. Maybe next week. I'm so tired I can barely keep my eyes open right now. Miles Servin donated and said, great content today, David. Thank you for sharing the cool artwork. This is for you and Angry Daddy to enjoy a nice meal together. I really appreciate you guys, and I really appreciate all your help. Really appreciate the donations. I love this kind of content. I love the UFO artwork, and I found a lot more of them than I thought I would. So disclosure is happening. We'll do a fun tour next week through UFO photographs, because when you see these photographs, they're very obviously the same type of stuff that we saw in the UFO art. Maybe I'll even compare and contrast some of the UFO photographs with some of the artwork next week, so I can have some things to tweak. But anyway, it's a good time to be alive. It's a good time to be here. I want to thank you guys for being here today. And it's just wonderful that we can share in these illustrations. In fact, without knowing what's really going on in the world, without having all these things that are in our awareness, it would look really frustrating. It would look really scary. I mean, there's so many things that you could worry about. There's so many things that you could be concerned about. That's right. My birthday is coming up next week. Today's show was awesome. Thank you very much, Gene. Do you know what ET group the Bourbon Royal line is a part of? No, I don't. Anyway, thank you for the donations. So it's fascinating when you look at where we've gone as a species, where we've gone as a civilization, that all these pieces of information are coming into our consciousness now, and that we have gained so much. But it's important to remember the scope of what we know, the scope of what's been taught to us, the scope of what we have available to us as souls, because it's truly vast. There's a universe out there of all these beings, and the law of one tells us that all there is in the grander sense of things is consciousness, that it's a conscious living universe. So with that living universe comes the promise that we inherit our own divinity from celestial sources, that we are protected in the eyes and in the mind of God. We are kept alive by God's grace and God's mercy, that we are given baptized, anointed leaders like Jesus, who, again, I believe he is the manifestation of the galactic consciousness, or the Logos, as it is described in the Law of One. And that's really, really fascinating. So we have so much to look forward to. We have so much to be grateful for when we see how these pieces connect. And so this archaic artwork, to me, really, really illustrates that, yes, there are positive ETs out there, and they are very focused upon us. They're very focused upon our ascension. Why do so many of these images appear in these religious artworks? Why do we keep seeing UFOs again and again and again in what's clearly religious artwork? I think that one of the main focal points is that, yes, we have never been alone. And these beings are here to guide us, to protect us, to shepherd us through life, to give us hope, to give us meaning, to give us a reason to be alive. And so, yes, when we look at what's going on right now, everything that's going on with the Iran situation, it's really scary. Okay, I get that. And so I didn't want you to be dwelling on the negative. And the idea that there's some planet-sized object coming in 2027 that's going to invade the solar system. Well, these beings are not mythological. They're real. And when you look at all that art and you see how many times they've appeared in these various depictions, it's obvious. We saw it in China. We saw it in India. We see it all throughout Christian artwork. There's something going on here. We're not alone. The standard bell-shaped craft, as defined in the Law of One, has been around for a very long time. When we come back next week, we'll see many other modern-day pictures, most black and white, of the same type of stuff, and they are fascinatingly interconnected.